The future, a world where the quest for truth has ended.
Do you believe in the supernatural, Mr. Vandarius?
I'm not enough to surprise. The Shader will bring hell to Earth for thousands of years. Shock Division, kill them all!
The trilogy is complete. Spirit Blade, a full cast audio drama.
The song goes like this.
Hey, I'm Peter Franson from christiangeekcentral.com and Spirit Blade Productions. Welcome to Trial and Error, where I play the first part of a game or a game demo. Usually do that pretty badly and give you my thoughts along the way. This time I'm taking a look at Final Fantasy 15. I have been so excited for the release of Final Fantasy 12 Special Edition. This one, not so much. I was a big fan of the early Final Fantasy games, you know, the turn-based stuff that was released in the US. My favorite in terms of story, I suppose, maybe was Final Fantasy IX. I felt the most emotionally invested in that. I really love Final Fantasy VI. In fact, I'm slowly playing my way through it again right now. Final Fantasy XII I was initially very scared of because it was doing a lot of more real-time combat stuff, and I was like, this stresses me out, I'm not good with hand-eye coordination, you know. But eventually it really grew on me, and while the story is still a bunch of convoluted political boring stuff I don't care about, I love the combat system of Final Fantasy XII far more than any other Final Fantasy game I've played. I haven't played any of the MMO Final Fantasy games, and Final Fantasy XIII, the first one, was the first Final Fantasy game that I didn't even finish. I'm also not a fan of most Japanese anime unless it is freaking dead serious. I don't find the humor in Japanese anime funny at all, and a lot of that has made its way into Japanese video games that come over to the States. As soon as voice acting was introduced to the Final Fantasy series, it sharply went down in the quality of my experience. I've tried to figure out what it is about the voice acting. There are solid voice actors involved in many projects like these. How do they still come across as sounding bad to me? And I think it has to do with there being a disconnect between what I'm seeing visually the characters doing and maybe an overdone quality to the voice, to the characterization, to the inflection. I just like characters that are more subtle and grounded and relatable. But at the end of the day, I really don't play video games for their story. I almost never play video games for their story. I play them for the gameplay, for the systems. I play RPGs for the feeling of progression, for sometimes the strategy or the tactics that are involved. I'm really not into most turn-based RPG games anymore. If it's strictly turn-based, I'm often not interested. I do like there to be some kind of a real-time component to kind of keep things lively and interesting. But I don't generally like straight-up action games. Action RPGs, yes, but not straight-up action games. I'm just not a good enough player for them. Likewise, I'm at the end of my workday, often I just don't have enough mental energy to really dig into a slow, turn-based tactical RPG as much as I loved my experience with Final Fantasy Tactics. These days I need somewhere in the middle between action RPG and straight heavy turn-based. Somewhere in the middle there. I think my favorite style of play is real-time with pause, which you see in the Baldur's Gate games and the Neverwinter Nights games. You see that in Dragon Age Origins as well, and more recently in Pillars of Eternity. I love that kind of combat in a role-playing game. And that's very similar to what was going on in Final Fantasy XII. I really don't know quite what to expect out of the combat system here because it's evolved so much, even in recent years, based on, videos that I've seen on IGN or GameSpot or whatever. So I'm really curious to see if the systems of the game, if the progression and the combat is going to be something that hooks me, because that's ultimately what I play role-playing games for. And although I don't care about the story, I'd also like to not be really annoyed by the characters. So I'm hoping for the best there. I don't have great expectations, which is why I rented this instead of buying it. So here we go. A Final Fantasy for fans and first-timers. All right, well, we'll see if it's for this fan. 3 different controller configurations. Geez, I'm not sure I like any of these. Why don't they just let me configure them how I want them? Wait, if I'm going to use the tutorial, it has to be before I start the game? Whoa! I can't control the camera when I'm waiting? What the heck turned on the wait timer? Certain enemy attacks will be parried. A shield will appear signaling for you to defend. Why is that wait timer still... What the heck? So it's every time I let go of the left stick. So what? If I want to use wait time, I have to constantly be moving if I don't want to pause? Why can't they just let me hit a button when I want to pause things? That is so weird. Okay, I guess I'll just do this till he attacks me. Okay, keep spinning in circles. Run, run. Not ready for that pause menu yet. You know, I think I want to turn off this wait mode for now. Unlocked onto an enemy, a blade warp becomes a warp strike. Oh man! So if I don't want to track the target, I've got to hold R1 and then hit triangle at the same time. I normally hold the controller like this, so I gotta do, okay, R1, and let's get the thumb up there! Why would anyone ever use that simultaneous button press of R1 and triangle? Okay. Okay, take cover. Take cover. Did you mean hold down square or push square? Alright, let's try hold down. Okay. I'm already sensing in just some subtle ways some translation / localization issues that I think are unfortunately gonna be right on par with what Final Fantasy has done up to this point. Oh, I'm in stasis. Okay. Stasis! Where's the camera? Let me move the camera, please. Where's my camera? I can't see the warp points if you don't let me move my camera. What the crap, guys? Oh, now it's back. Now that I'm crouching. No, no camera, no camera, no camera, no camera, no camera, no camera. Okay, let's cover again. That gave me my camera back last time. There's my camera! Jeez, I hope that's just a bug with the camera in the tutorial. Where's the magic? They're showing me all kinds of, like, action-y melee type stuff. Where's the frickin' magic? Oh, spells. Okay, here we go then. You got entire tabs dedicated to swords, great swords, pole arms, daggers, all these different kinds of weapons. One tab dedicated to spells. So there's friendly fire with the magic spells. The game features 2 combat modes, active and wait. Wait mode emphasizes strategic elements of combat. Engage wait mode and lock onto an enemy to analyze it. Yeah, why would they not just give me a button to engage wait mode? I gotta go in here, change the combat settings, and then it's always engaged unless I'm moving with the left stick. That is weird. Adjust the amount of energy or add a catalyst when crafting to increase the spell's potency or add an effect such as poison or multicast. So there's some kind of like you craft spells and collect elements. It reminds me a little bit of the Final Fantasy VIII draw system, which I really thought was cool. I like that kind of collecting aspect to magic. Did I do it? No. Let's see. Activate. X. Or square. Or circle. No, that didn't do it. Triangle. That didn't do it either. How do I make a... Oh, wait a minute. Okay. Blizzard. Wait, what? I don't understand how to make magic. Okay, select an empty magic flask in which to craft a spell. Boom. Adjust the amount of elemental energy. Okay. I have adjusted. Now what? Press X. That doesn't do anything. Press square. That doesn't do anything. Circle. That doesn't do... Well, that just backs me out. Okay. I don't know what this game wants. Next, choose an item to serve as the catalyst. Still not letting me do anything. Oh my gosh. What am I missing here? Put it in the flask! Put it in the flask! I don't know the button to put it in the flask. What the crap? I can't believe! I'm just gonna try and kill him some other way. Okay, can we be done with this tutorial? Complete. Great. So I hope the whole magic system's a lot more obvious once I get into the actual game. If they are nearby when Noctis performs a parry or blindside using a sword, greatsword, or polearm, they may join in for a link strike. So if they're nearby, the link strike just kind of happens automatically. It's not a whole lot of choice that I have about that. I don't hang around a lot of people that are getting hurt, but in the times where I've been around somebody that's hurt or cut themselves, they don't go I mean, they might go, I've never heard anyone go, and again, I don't think it's the voice actor. There's something in the whole cocktail as it's being mixed together that results in this disconnect from the performance with the occasion, at least compared to how people I know behave. Do you see that? Noctis is like, come on, man, you'll be fine. And he's like, I guess I am fine. There's just, I mean, the behavior, it's just very anime style. And that is to say that the characters behave in a very stylized, over-the-top, caricature kind of way that doesn't connect with me, because it's not like anybody that I know. And it's just a pet peeve. I mean, I know there are all kinds of video gamey conventions that we just accept without really thinking about it. This is one, the whole anime vibe thing, that I have trouble accepting without thinking about. Tactical, what does that mean, tactical? R2. Okay, so you can pause combat to use items. Warp! No! Okay, warp to there. There! Oh, I gotta hold it down, okay. Alright, so when they want you to push buttons, what they really mean is hold it down until the effect takes place. Okay, great. Man, spent 45 minutes in that tutorial section. I don't even want to play this game now. Yeah, it's very action-y, which is like, it's action-y even more so than Final Fantasy XIII was. I guess I just want the access to the different things that you can do in combat to be more intuitive if it's going to be this real-time affair. And maybe it will be intuitive to a lot of people, just not intuitive to me. It's a little preview of the final boss battle or something. Fight Satan. There he is. Oh! Gotta make a noise every time you move in these games. That's just how it works. If you do anything with your body, there's gotta be some kind of a... Well, they're syncing up the lips with the English dialogue, which I appreciate that. Should I move a stick now? Is that what you want? Right stick controls. Oh, there's the little message. Push R2. Okay. Was hidden way off there on the right of the screen. Teeny tiny. Oof, this is a slow start after that painful tutorial. What? Button up, lady. I'm losing interest real fast. I mean, all the progression here seems to be based on further developing how you use warp strikes or how you do kind of the action-y elements of combat. It's not about the tactical stuff. It's not about building up your potency in magic, or... I'm not really interested in the whole warp strike system. It's not fun for me. And so to see that the skill tree for combat is largely about the elements of the combat system that I'm not really enjoying or connecting with is discouraging. Maybe if I just go out and get in the mix of combat a little bit more, I'll start to feel what they want me to feel. How about leaping into oncoming oh no, they stop really fast, don't they? Oh, I gotta be faster. I'll have to be faster next time. Stick it in the thing. Do this. Parry. Hey, I did it. I don't know what they're going for with the look of these guys, but at least it's all black and not horrible, garish, bright colors. I don't like anime that tries to make me feel happy. I have other things that make me happy. Anime does not make me happy. Yeah, it looks pretty. More scorpions. Prepare for this strike! Zappa! What is this they're teaching me? Dodge roll! Stick it in the thing! Wait, am I doing this wrong? Oh, I did that wrong. Okay, so they're giving me some tutorial windows, even though I've already done the tutorial. So maybe if you try this game, skip the pre-game tutorial and just get into the game. You know what I don't like about this tactical mode is you don't have direct control of the camera. The camera only moves when you use the right stick to select a different enemy to target. And I also really don't like how the music gets kind of turned down and this little shimmering effect kind of turns on in its place. I feel like it kind of disrupts the momentum that I would otherwise feel. This wait mode, it feels kind of like an afterthought almost. I'm not sure it gives me any more advantage than I would have in just pausing the combat by accessing the menu or the item selection menu.
What's this?
Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? Oh, what's this? It's not the actors I especially want to watch if I were a fly on the wall in these recording sessions. It's whoever's directing them. I want to hear what they're being told. I am so curious. I want to hear what actors who record for anime, I want to hear what they're being told. I'm so curious. Because the voice acting is just a different style compared to what would be produced by, I feel like, an American studio. Or maybe even some, a European studio. It's just something different. There's more noises. And I don't understand why. Alright, I just did a Google search and nobody else seems to know why anime voices sound weird either. Okay, holding circle here. Circle, 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 circle. It's interesting because the combat feels to me like it's somewhere between a turn-based RPG and an action RPG, and it's mostly in the direction of action RPG, but there's just a few like system-y type things in how combat works and how you execute moves, how you execute defense that are just shy of like a true blue action RPG and make the experience kind of feel unwieldy to me somehow. Like I'm not really in control of Noctis with the level of precision that I want to be. I'm not super clear on how soon exactly I need to really be hitting that dodge button in order for my dodge to be valid when an enemy's attacking me. You know what? I want to change the control scheme. I'm getting screwed up here. I think I keep hitting square trying to attack. What I want to do is dodge with circle. I just want to swap square and circle. No, I'll just get more screwed up if I try to use an entirely different setting. I'm trying to think of another game that I've ever used circle to attack in. This is so weird. This is so weird. This is where their wardrobe does stick out to me. It's like tents and paper grocery bags just don't go with those clothes. It's so weird. I don't know if I can do it. See, I'm a big fan of the Shadow Hearts games, especially the first one. And I can put up with all kinds of anime weirdness because the systems, the combat system, the progression system, the gameplay is so appealing to me. And this is not the worst, kind of like weird anime flavorish type stuff, but this combat system is not working for me. I mean, I still don't like the systems. I still don't feel connected to the combat, I think, in the way that they probably want me to, but at least the combat's right now not very difficult. In fact, the challenge right now for me in the combat is just trying to figure out how to pull off the things that they're wanting me to do. The challenge is not in staying alive or defeating the enemy.
Who's the lucky imaginary lady?
When all this is over, I'm gonna visit her in Hammerhead.
Oh man. I do not like Prompto. He's just there to be happy and positive and funny. But then, I'm no indicator of what is funny. Because I don't think most of the Marvel movies are funny. And lots of people just really seem to think they're really funny. And most comedies I don't laugh at. It takes a weird comedy for me to laugh. So I hate to be so negative. I don't want to poop on anybody's parade, If you are enjoying this game or excited about it, do not let me poop on your parade or be an indicator to you if you haven't played it yet of whether or not you'll enjoy this. Unless, of course, you are annoyed by anime and you connect with my likes and dislikes. Man, I gotta sit through all this? Can I not fast travel or something? Why can't they just let me auto-go to the quest location? Oh, you can fast travel to any parking place that you visited. Man, is a lot of this game going to be driving and listening to them banter? I'm wondering if I should just be walking everywhere, if that would be more interesting for me. I've heard that one of the big selling points of this game is the unfolding relationships between these guys, and I can see how people would connect with that, but I kind of wonder if you have to be a little bit of a fan of anime and that style of acting and translation in order to kind of have this resonate with you. I don't know. Alright, do we need to refuel here? No, let's just go. Let's just go! Fight something! Let's go! Ding dong! That's the sound that shops make. That's the sound of shops? You walk up to a shop and it's a doorbell? Maybe in Japan there are doorbells when you go to McDonald's.
Consider it your allowance.
Huh?
Yeah.
Duh-huh? Duh-huh? Duh-huh?
Shit, right.
Alright, I wasn't paying attention to any of that. Next quest marker.
Man, not a ship in sight. What gives?
What gives? That's what I say all the time. What gives?
Name's Dino, by the way. Pleasure. The Crown Prince of Lucis, bounty hunting in his fancy car.
They give this guy the thick New York accent?
This reporter has integrity.
Sorry guys, I'm being a lot more negative than I normally am. I've watched a review from one major games media outlet, and they were pretty positive on it. Maybe that's going to be the sentiment of the majority. I guess maybe they wanted me to drive. Because there is nothing fun happening as I walk. Oh! What the crap? Alright, let's rock! I hardly did any damage to this guy. Should we just run, guys? He seems really huge. Oh, dang. We all got hurt real bad. It's Final Fantasy 15.
What?
Yeah. I don't like it very much.
Why not?
Because it's not like any of the Final Fantasy games that I liked. And it's really not like any game that I've ever liked. It's boring.
Sounds good.
Guess what we're gonna do now?
What?
Camp. Or maybe stay at a hotel.
Why?
To rest. Pretty exciting, huh?
Can you crash?
No. See, like I tried, they won't let me. In fact, I'm just gonna hold down right trigger. It does all this driving for me.
Hey, I'm good at that.
You wanna hold down right trigger?
Sure. Ta-da!
Good job.
Easy. What's that?
What's it called? It's bomb. Remember those guys?
Have to hit them before they explode. Hi!
Alright, you should go. Close it!
It's bedtime. Huh.
Next. Can I skip this? Skip this animation. Skip it. Skip. There we go. Okay, pro tip. Options, triangle for skip. Oh my gosh, did I get too close to the marker again? Okay, so step away, 5 feet away from your goal, and then hit the button. I like the sound design, it's a beautiful game, blah 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 blah. I knew that, like, aesthetically or visually the quality was going to be solid. Did we wake it up? Jeez, that thing is huge and ugly. Oh, there's his tail. Ha ha ha. Dang, that thing is so ugly! Oh crap! Alright, we gotta go. Oh! Oh, crap. Okay, that was sweet. You know, one thing you can count on, I think, in Final Fantasy games is production value. They put out the big summer blockbusters of Japanese RPGs. I would love to see more of that. Much more frequently. Sweep me up in the epic spectacle. Oh, I can fast travel for 10? That should not cost money to fast travel. Come on! Oh, man. That fast travel option did not get me near close enough to that quest marker. There is too much running around in towns. Oh, and I can't run in some areas of the town. That is stupid. Move your lure by pressing R2 to reel it in and tilting left to work the rod. I've never been fishing before, so I don't know. Entice it to bite by mixing up your reeling speed? I don't know what to do here. I've never been fishing before. I got it! Okay. Press R2 to reel the fish in and wear down its stamina. When the fish is all out of stamina, you can pull it up. I'm never playing this minigame again. Alright, great. I mean, I thought I would have mixed feelings about this. I did not know I would be so disinterested. I hope that everyone who buys this game gets what they wanted out of it and enjoys the experience. If I were to speak purely selfishly, I hope this game tanks so that it'll just be a huge wake-up call for Final Fantasy, and maybe the whole series will get handed over to the guys that are making smaller games like I Am Setsuna, and they'll continue making Final Fantasy games, but they'll just be smaller, and they won't be so risky. I don't know if their risks are paying off the last however many years. You know, at least when there was no voice acting, well, you can, in some voice acting games, you can still fire through the dialogue really fast, and I'm just a slave to a pace that they've selected for a lot of the dialogue in this. And in classic JRPGs, I can fire through the story and keep track of it, read really fast and keep track of it. But they were never stories that I really wanted to, take in, except in very rare cases. I don't like that experience isn't applied automatically, that you gotta go through this whole camping process. It's not the concept that I have to camp, it's that I even have to hit options and triangle to fast forward through the camping animation. I'm just not interested in any of that. I want to be able to camp, hit the button, get the benefits, go.
Lies.
Duh. Lies. Why the duh? Why do we need that? They're syncing the lips to the American actors. So why do we need duh? That stuff should be removed in the localization process. Unless, there's just kind of like an aesthetic about anime that started out as being defined by shortcomings in localization, and now for many people is just an endearing part that they don't want to do without. I don't know. I mean, let me ask you, if you're an anime fan, would you feel like, if it's missing something, if it doesn't have some of those unusual vocalizations that you find only in anime? I don't get it. It's totally lost on me.
What good hoping's gonna do?
You mustn't lose faith.
Really? Can faith stop a fleet of Imperial dreadnoughts?
Just give it a rest.
My old man had plenty of faith.
Enough.
The Empire lied. They betrayed us.
Conjecture gets us nowhere. We're searching for truth.
They're playing with some worthwhile ideas here. They brought up the idea of, like, what good is faith? My old man had a lot of faith, and there's a lot of good talk about how we ought to have faith and keep the faith, but you'll notice that we don't often specify, well, what should we be placing our faith in, when that's really the most important part of that whole idea of keeping faith. We ought to keep faith in something or someone that is trustworthy and worth having faith in. Likewise, your driving buddy, he says he says something to the effect of, we're not, conjecture isn't doing us any good, we're searching for truth. And I think that's really important. The age of the internet has made it possible for all of us, myself included, to just kind of spout off opinions and speculate and and just kind of say whatever's on our mind. But there seems to be less interest in actually buckling down and searching for the truth of a matter. I think if I adjust my expectations and try not to think of it like an action game, but almost like a real-time combat game that I kind of have to do a little more finger work to keep going. I know that's hard to explain, but I can see a bad guy and basically just kind of hold circle for a while, and that'll wail on him, and then change things up when I need to. Oh, let's go to cover. Cover! Cover! Stop dodging and go to cover! Prompto, how come you're not getting any hit points back? Do I have to give you health? Wait, what? I'm trying to give you... Okay, potion. Prompto. Why is he not able to use a health potion? I don't understand the systems of this game, the rules. So weird. So that guy just kind of stood there while I got behind him. So, it doesn't really behave like an action game because the guys don't... The AI is really kind of lacking.
And the Oracle Lunafreya have also been pronounced
Keep it on.
Oh, just let me save. I want to play Skyrim.
But the king, it's true.
In some ways, the combat reminds me of Dragon Age 2, where you can't... you can hold down, I guess, the button to auto-attack, but in Dragon Age 2, I think you had to keep hammering the attack button over and over again, instead of just, like, hitting boom and letting it auto-attack and kind of do its thing. It's like somewhere between, like, what I think of as a real-time RPG system and a straight-up action RPG, and I don't think I like that that middle space the way they're doing it. It's like, if it's going to be in real time, I'd rather stand back and be the tactician in real time and be able to pause and say, okay, do that instead of auto-attacking. Instead, it's like real time, but I have to stay on top of it to keep him attacking. When I'd rather just have him auto-attacking or something. Alright, back in it, day 2. Let's see if it's better after a night of sleep. Oh! That's what was missing before. That's what I was not seeing during the tutorial. I didn't understand that this was an item field that I had to add something to. I just thought it was some element that I didn't have yet. Okay. Okay, so depending on what item you use as the catalyst to whatever element you attach it to, the effect changes. Didn't I do it? I thought I did it. Oh, craft. There we go, craft. I'm unclear though, like, is it going to pull from my items? Like, what's going to deplete when I cast a spell? Where's Sid? Okay, so here's the quest. I'm right on top of this quest, and there's nothing to do.
Hey, what are you after this time?
Wait, what's the casual outfit? Oh, that's the casual outfit? Oh man, that's even worse. Okay, use his magic now. Magic! Oh, I hurt my buddies. Sorry, guys. Look at me holding down circle. I mean, warp striking is kind of cool. It just doesn't feel like Final Fantasy. And granted, they reinvent the wheel so often when they make a new game, you know, what does it mean to feel like Final Fantasy? But it seems like what their idea is of the, like, essentials that you want to come back to are more the trappings, you know, crystals and some thematic elements, people named Sid. And I don't really care so much about that stuff. I mean, I would like to see a black mage in a straw steeple hat, but apart from that, it's more the gameplay elements that have unified the series for me, which is why so many of them have not felt like Final Fantasy games since starting with around 10 or so. And admittedly, 12, in many ways, does not feel like a Final Fantasy game. I just happen to really like the combat system that they took a risk on in 12. Oh man, these things look bad! I can't tell if I'm just doing combat wrong and I'm supposed to be able to fight these guys more effectively, or if I should be running. Can I not control the camera? Where's my camera, guys? Thank you. No, it's gone again. I need to get out of here. Camera, please. Camera! Camera! I kind of like it when, you know, the enemies that are in your area are kind of appropriate to your level. If it's going to be open world, I either like the enemies to scale to you, or for the areas to kind of all have the same strength level of bad guys, so you can tell, oh, I'm not strong enough to be in this area, I should detour, I should go somewhere else. Dangerous travel at night, consider returning to a rest point and waiting until morning. I'm right in the middle of a quest. This is really inconvenient. I am taking the most direct route I can to a level 5 quest, and I am level 7, and yet the enemies that I'm encountering on my way to this level 5 quest that I should be over-leveled for seem way more powerful than I can handle. Maybe I'm supposed to be switching weapons or something, but I can't tell. Alright, let me try the wait mode again. Alright, go into options, combat, wait mode. Oh, okay, so I had to hold down lock on and then I get some information about them. Okay, I want to use piercing weapons. So then every time I want to scan an enemy to find out what they're weak to, I have to go into the menu, select the wait mode for the battle, then scan them while I'm in wait mode. And then unless I want to be stuck in wait mode, unless I'm running in circles, I have to go back into the menu, turn off wait mode. If there's an easier way to do it, it is not apparent to me. Yeah, that is a level 12 monster. I feel like I shouldn't be running into level 12 monsters on my way to a level 5 quest. This driving is ridiculous. Super bored. Super bored right now. But if I try walking this distance, I'm gonna run into enemies that are too powerful for my level, or it's nighttime is gonna come, and then even worse enemies will come out. This is how you explore and discover new areas of the world map, is driving and waiting. Exploration is a big part of why I like to play RPGs, and they are sucking all the fun out of it. Yeah, I'm not getting any enemy info, so I guess I really do, to get proper enemy info. I gotta go in, change combat to wait, then go back in, resume. Oh man, that's unacceptable. That is unacceptable. They have got to patch that so that it is more easy to get basic combat info about an enemy without going into your menu, switching over to an entirely different mode of combat just so you can see that, and then come back out to the main active flow of combat that they obviously intend by default for this game. Okay, level 4, so let me laboriously go in here. Oh man. Why? Why unnecessarily make me wait just to give me enemy info? You're making me wait even longer. Ridiculous. See, why can't they just let me, when I go to my item menu, rotate the camera and get the same basic information they give me in wait time mode? For whatever reason, it's just not intuitive to me. There's just something that's not connecting with me. I'm not understanding what the game wants me to do, either in the quick combat moments or sometimes even like in the menus, as I'm just trying to figure out how stuff works. And it's not that I never play complex games. I mean, I've found my way through Baldur's Gate without even having an understanding of second edition Dungeons & Dragons rules. So the complexity level is not the problem. It's something about the way they're communicating to me, the different things that they want me to do. I'm not on the same page with them. So hopefully a lot of other people are, and they speak the language of Final Fantasy, and they get this stuff, but there's so much in this game that's just not intuitive to me. Oh, and then they still make you wait. There's no active time, anything going on right now. Why are they making me wait this long to scan and just get the basic information about this enemy? One thing I like about the Final Fantasy games is the enemy designs, you know? Those, always you can count on those visually looking cool. And just in general, the game looks great. Hold down, circle, hold it down now. Hold it down, circle, hold down, circle, hold it down. Alright, I'm done. I've given this game close to 5 hours of my life, and it's just not for me. There were moments where the combat was starting to click into a groove a little bit for me. I was enjoying the warp striking and kind of getting into the feel of maybe what I'm supposed to be experiencing. But for me, there were far more times where combat was either really dull as I just held on to circle, or just elusive to me in terms of what I was supposed to do in order to succeed in a situation, tactically speaking. And sometimes elusive just in terms of, okay, what do you want? When do you want me to press this button in order to execute this move? It'll be really interesting to me to see how the general user base reacts to this game. You know, it's one thing to see media outlets, video game media outlets, reviewers saying generally positive things about this game, but those are people who live and breathe video games and are used to adapting and learning new systems. So I'm wondering if there'll be a large section of the user base that is experiencing something similar with this game, where it just feels non-intuitive. On the other hand, I could totally be off in my own little corner and having a fairly unique experience with the combat and the general systems of the game. If they want to go action-y, that's fine, but I'd prefer something that was a little bit more like maybe a 3D version of the Symphony of the Night Castlevania games, where there is magic. There's a complex magic system, and there are all kinds of different weapons and equipment that you can use. Granted, there are not as many like really fast-paced decisions to make in a game like the Symphony of the Night series, but maybe that's what it comes down to. I am not a quick decision maker. I can be, I think, relatively speaking, a fairly deep thinker, but I'm not a quick thinker. I like to deliberate. And so when a game goes into the more action-type mode, I don't like to have a lot of choices that I have to choose between really quickly. I just kind of get overwhelmed. So maybe that's what's going on with me. I don't know. But I'll tell you that I would prefer the combat to Dragon Age 2 over this. And I didn't really like that combat. But if you're going to go in like a real-time combat direction that feels even more on the action side of things, I would take Dragon Age 2 over this. Or Dragon's Dogma, or Two Worlds. There are a number of action-oriented RPGs that I just enjoy so much more than this. And I feel are so much more approachable and intuitive. And the alien-feeling nature of the experience for me, you know, starts with the control scheme, continues into the menus and just how the magic systems work, moves on into the combat, and then of course extends into the scripting. The dialogue feels like foreign anime, the mannerisms of characters, the sounds they make. I think visually it has high production values. That's no surprise to me. I'm not a big fan of the wardrobe of the main characters, but the enemy designs I think are really cool. The packaging visually is great. And I think that the disconnect that I feel in the voice acting, it could be so much worse. I think this is definitely a step in the right direction in terms of the voice acting, but it's not near far enough along in the direction I'd like to go for me to have any patience for it. I've certainly had experiences with games where I'm having trouble kind of getting into their systems, figuring out how they work, and just kind of feeling comfortable with everything. And then I suddenly come to a place where I'm like, oh, I get it, it's clicking, oh my gosh, this is so much fun. Final Fantasy XII was one of those games. Shadow Hearts was one of those games. But I was also playing those games in a time where there weren't really a ton of other RPGs to play or other types of games that I really would like. And now there are just so many options for me to choose from of games that I know I will enjoy. So it's just not worth it for me to push through the next 10, 20 hours of this game to figure out if I am really going to enjoy and connect with the systems of the game and how it all works. I definitely don't connect with the story or characters. The hero's a blank page. We got the British guy who's really smart. We've got the muscle head with a mullet. And we've got the fun comic relief guy. There's nothing interesting going on with any of these characters for me. Final Fantasy XIII was the first Final Fantasy game I didn't finish. This is going to be the first Final Fantasy mainline game that I don't even buy. And how it is received will determine whether or not I even try the next Final Fantasy game, I think. If this is received well and celebrated by others, hey, awesome. It'll be great to see Square Enix kind of getting back on track with audiences, but it will probably mean that it's time for me to just part ways with the Final Fantasy series. On the other hand, I mean, if it tanks, it could mean that they are totally going to go back to the drawing board, that this series might just go dark for a long, long time. Who knows? But for my tastes, I would really like them to just totally go back to the drawing board in how they're approaching not just the next Final Fantasy game, but how they're approaching the direction of the series in general going forward. I usually try to ask myself when I'm playing games, is there anything of philosophical or spiritual relevance that might spark worthwhile thought or conversation while playing this game? And nothing was really jumping out to me here. There's a reference to a polytheistic system of some kind, but those are a dime a dozen in fantasy games. There was some brief exchanges in the dialogue that made me think, okay, maybe they're going to get a little bit philosophical. And that wouldn't surprise me at all. That's actually very common in Japanese RPGs for them to deal with issues of philosophy. The foreshadow we saw to some kind of big boss fight later on looked like they were fighting somebody that had the artistic trappings of representations of Lucifer, this kind of decadent yet evil and powerful and sinister type of villain, surrounded by flames. So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised at all if they really end up playing, at least aesthetically, with some spiritual and philosophical ideas. But if you played a lot of JRPGs like I have, those are going to tend to not even be a blip on the radar, because they're just so commonplace, and oftentimes they don't really come out and say anything really clearly. Anyway, I think that's all I got to say on this one. I am super curious what other players think of this game, what their experience is. I would love for you to leave your reactions to this game in the comments below. And then I hope you'll join us sometime at christiangeekcentral.com as we continue to geek out and seek the truth.